Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, anytime you get to watch. This is your brother and friend Jojo of Demons Media. Today, let's talk about one, immigration, i.e. the white paper that is presented that is causing chaos. And then two, putting certain persons straight as we're supposed to. We put the two together because I believe certain things has led into certain things to allow certain persons to be spewing out lies and spewing out ignorance. Now it has become necessary for the Prime Minister to present a white paper. Somebody's going to ask, what is white paper? White paper is a document that the government presents when they have proposals of policy change and legislation or laws that needs to be amended. They present it. It's called white paper. And when they have presented it, it goes to Parliament. Parliamentarians will look into it because they are the lawmakers. And when that is done, it goes to the House of Lords in this part of the world. So the white paper is not the finality. Now, one of the things that really stood out was the duration that one has got to be here and work before you are you qualify to apply for citizenship. It is being extended from 5 years to 10 years. That's quite a lot, because not only is it a lot, it's expensive because you have to be renewing your status every 2.5 years, and every 2.5 years it costs you money. You pay for NHS surcharge and you pay taxes. I pay for income tax and I pay for other taxes. I don't pay for NHS surcharge. But if you're not a citizen, you pay for all the taxes that I pay for. In addition to that, you pay for NHS surcharge. So if the taxes that you're paying, some of them are meant to be going into health, you're paying for that times two. That's another conversation to have. But as I'm saying, it's expensive to renew your status every 2.5 years, because even if we're going to work with £2,500 every year, every 2.5 years, right? Let's say you're a family of 4, mom and dad and 2 children. £10,000 is gone every 2.5 years. That's a lot. It's not easy to just come by £10,000. If you are in a household where it's only the man that is working because the woman is supposed to stay at home and look after the children and look after home, the man must be on a salary between 50,000 to 60,000 a year, and that is going to be basic to be able to pay your rent, your bills, and take care of the children as it's supposed to. Because obviously, if you're on this kind of thing, you are not entitled to certain government handout. You understand? So the road into ILR, indefinite leave to remain, is being extended, and it is putting people under a certain level of pressure and desperation. And so therefore, they don't even know what they are doing. All they can do is express their feelings and express their concerns. One member of parliament went to parliament to pose a question that some of the constituents had come to her with. And this is the question, this is the answer that the Minister of State gave to the member of parliament.
Since this announcement, Madam Deputy Speaker, I've been contacted by several constituents who are currently on a work visa and looking at their path for a way for indefinite leave to remain. They are understandably worried, Home Secretary, about where this uncertainty leaves them. They're worried about their future plans. One even told me that they are worried and they're considering leaving the UK because their settled status here is under jeopardy. So can the Home Secretary please outline whether this policy applies to people who are already living and working in the UK, or will it just be to new visa applicants?
Home Secretary.
Well, thank the honourable friend for her question, and she is right to say that there are people working in all kinds of jobs across the country, contributing to our economy and to our communities, who have travelled here from all over the world, and that was hugely important. We will set out further details of the earned settlement and citizenship reforms later this year, and we will consult on them. So there will be plenty of opportunity for people to comment on and consider the detail. But it is important that we have extend the sense of contributions and the points-based system to those reforms as well. We have also said that we will maintain the current 5-year route for those who have come on a dependence visa, on a family visa as well, as part of maintaining families.
Liberal Democrat spokesman.
Welcome back. So that is answered. Another thing that I found in the white paper that if it stays in when everything is done might be a little bit, tiny bit of a help, is the fact that they're trying to tell the cares companies to recruit from within. Look within first. The only time that you are allowed to recruit from outside the UK is when you are able to prove that you have consistently been trying to recruit from within and it's not happening. because there are so many people, I don't have the data, but we heard that people came in with COS and became desperate because the companies that brought them in did not play according to rules. So some of them had their licenses curtailed, revoked, and some of them too obviously folded up. So it made the people that came in with the COS more or less like they became handicapped. So now what they are proposing is let's look to recruit them rather than going out there to bring in new COS holders. So which I think it's a bit of a good news. And then the other point too is that there were these fees that the COS people that were coming in with COS, they were paying the companies that were sponsoring them, and they realized that those fees were exploitation. They chucked them off. And then the other point that I realized is that you know that now to be able to bring someone over, you must be on a certain salary, a certain threshold. You must be making nothing less than 38,700 to be able to bring someone over here, like to bring a family member. So now they looked at it and said, okay, the care workers, the caregivers are working very, very hard, and they work hard because they all do 12 hours and stuff. You get, it's only fair that their salaries are increased. So now there's a salary increase that is being proposed as well. If you've watched the video to this point, please take your time and subscribe to this channel and let's grow together. Now we're going somewhere. We're both going somewhere. Just relax, okay? So these are the things that I found in the white paper. And once again, I've not digested everything. I'm not a lawyer. This is something that I found out, I stumbled upon. I thought we should share. If that will help calm nerves down, why not? I get it. So hey, don't shoot the messenger. But the other point I'm going to make here is that I'm not the one to normally bash politicians, but sometimes it becomes necessary for us to bash them. Bash them because we send them over there and we obviously give them our mandate and for them to go over there because we all cannot be there, but they end up disappointing us. Why am I saying this? If opportunities were there, if people were able to get work after education, like, because these workforce or the workforce that we are sending over here is a workforce that we need back home. But they have to come, because even if you do this back home, the incentives are not really there. So comparatively, they look at it as it's been better here than home. But there's one thing that I have come to know. The West will always exploit, use you, and dump you. Somebody's going to ask me, why? Why are you saying this? Go and check the Windrush. They brought them from the Caribbean to come sort this country, to come help build this country. Automatically, we're meant to be British citizens after some time. Some people were sent home, claiming they are illegal. After they have lived in this part of the world for over 40 years, they are old and wrinkled. They are weak. They send them over. Frail. They send them back. Why? Because they have obviously gotten what they want out of you. So we coming over here, that is partly what it is. They will open the door for you to come in, and then once they are done, they get rid of you. Now, if our politicians, if our people, if we will work together, if incumbents will get off their high horse and work with the opposition, because brain differs, people look at things differently. If we could all come together to Jojo and do things appropriately, then we are able to raise the nation or build the nation as it's supposed to be built, so that this workforce, the economic migration would reduce, because that is what we need. Not always sending people off because we need to go and remit home. Because, for instance, where I come from, Ghana, the whole GDP of the nation, a chunk of it is remittance. So why wouldn't they encourage that to happen so that remittances can keep on flowing? No, let us fix our nation. Our integrity is at stake. I watched a video of a journalist on a very huge platform spew out certain things. She's just ignorant. And the saddest thing here is that it breaks me to see people exhibit their ignorance with such confidence, because there was a guy on the panel trying to tell them, you are wrong. Let's watch the video and come back to Jojo.
Never mind that. We're talking about here. We now have a generation that believes everything we did by colonizing. Yes, it is true. They think everything about colonization was wrong. It wasn't. There were some terrible things and there were some good things to come out of it. And that is about properly acknowledging your past.
Education.
Yes, completely.
Sanitation.
Transportation.
Yeah. There was so much that we brought to communities. But
But you see, you're typical of what we're talking about.
No, I'm saying that colonisation, the empire was wrong. It was wrong, full stop. That's, the things that Britain might have done.
But that's very much through your modern sensibilities,
you
might say that, because we wouldn't now routinely go into other countries.
It was a profoundly racist set of basically invasions of other people, where we subjugated people to our rule and have made them work for us. It was completely
made their countries work.
But imagine yourself in the shoes of a 13-year-old boy hearing you say that.
Yeah. Right?
Yeah.
What do they then? How do they then carry that through life?
Well,
in terms of who I am as a Brit.
But it's not about.
We had racist ancestors.
Say it,
but Bev.
But I'm saying that we hear much more of that than we do about the benefits of that period of time.
Well, because I don't think there were benefits. I think that we have to be completely...
Of course there were.
So you benefits to us?
I don't think there were.
There were benefits to us.
A lot of those countries did not... Jonathan, those countries...
It absolutely does.
Those countries did not have money. They did not have the creativity. They did not have people in positions of power to do this. No, they didn't.
Countries. They just didn't live like Britain did. It doesn't make it worse. It just makes it different.
So it's okay to live without education, and it's okay to live without a transportation system, is it?
They did have education. It just wasn't our education system. They had language. It wasn't our language.
This cultural
medicine we brought to
precisely what we have.
Yes.
I don't know. Look, I don't know why we're even arguing about it.
Welcome back. Now this is it. You understand? This is it. This is what I'm talking about. She mentioned education. Oh, one of the most renowned mathematicians that Europe has produced, Pythagoras. Pythagoras studied in Egypt. It took the Egyptians over 7 years to accept them and to agree to teach him everything that he knew to become the kind of mathematician or the physicist that he became. Oh, sorry, Egypt is not in Africa. So you brought us education. You brought us money. When Mansa Musa from Mali was traveling from Mali to other parts to conduct business, how do you think he was conducting the business? With sand? Nah, sorry, darling, come again. And then she talked about what? Transportation. Once again, I'm going to use Mansa Musa. You think he was walking from Mali to places like Morocco? No. There was means of transport. And the saddest thing here is there was a man sitting on your panel telling you they had education, not our kind of education. They had transportation, not our kind of transportation. Back in the days, the whole transportation was horses. That is the reason why up until today, the speed of vehicles are measured with horsepower. So, you brought us transportation. And then you brought us what again? What did you bring us again? Let me give you another example. You may not have believed in the Bible. You may not have read the Bible. I get it. But look at it from this point. When the Israelites were being chased from Egypt into the Promised Land, and that's another conversation. They left Egypt black, but today we have them as white. It's interesting, isn't it? Now, when they were being chased by Pharaoh, what do you think they were chasing them with? They were running, or they were just going under the sun like snakes? Nah, you spew out these things and it's rather unfortunate. We are in a dispensation where you don't have a reason to be ignorant because information is just everywhere at your fingertips. So even if you didn't know, you could have found that. And there was someone on your panel correcting you, but you will not hear it. You will not hear it. It is rather unfortunate. But how? Do I blame you? No. Do I blame Britain for bringing in all these kind of stuff? No. It's a sovereign nation. They treat it as they deem fit. They don't want all kinds of people here. They want you to be skillful. They want you to possess this. They want you to possess that. If you don't possess them, don't come. If you can't provide them, don't come. If you can't produce them, don't come. That's their fundamental human right as to how they want their country to be. End of the day, can we do something to prevent us from coming here to go through all these things? Yes, we can. Dubai, they sat down and said, we need to build this kind of a city. And they built it. They put in the legislation, the policies, the rules, the regulations. If you are recalcitrant, then you get caught by the long arm of the law. Could we do the same? Could we do the same back in Africa? Why can't we do the same? How long are people going to be leaving the shores economically to come over here, to come and struggle? People come over here, they die because they work themselves out. They can't rest. You meet some of these people that are just coming and they are literally shadows of themselves. Because it's work. They don't even have time to take care of themselves. Politicians sit up, citizens, we should sit up in Africa as well. Let us rally around our politicians when they come up with something good. Let us all come together in opposition, incumbent. Come together. This is a good policy. Let us all put our hands to the plow and work, if not for us for today, for the future. If not for us to enjoy the shade of the trees that we are planting today, at least that is what good elders do, so that the future generation will enjoy the shade of the trees we are planting today. Let us not just be talking, but let us come together to form that formidable force. In Africa, as we are rising, we need to rise all together, work together, form the synergy so that we can rise up. The exploitation has got to end, both from externally and internally. We need to stop exploiting. By the end of the day, what do I know, as I keep on saying, but still, it's my take.